Charlie Sheen, the enigmatic Hollywood survivor whose life has been a whirlwind of triumphs, scandals and raw revelations, has once again pulled back the curtain on his past with unflinching candor. In a recent episode of the In Depth with Graham Bensinger podcast, the 60-year-old actor revisited his bombshell admissions about intimate encounters with men, clarifying nuances that the public might have misconstrued amid the hype of his memoir and documentary releases. Far from retracting his story, Sheen sought to refine it, emphasizing that while experimentation was part of his chaotic youth, the specifics weren't as sensational as headlines might suggest. Sex is a broad category, he mused, his voice carrying the gravelly wisdom of a man who stared down demons and emerged with stories to tell. The spark for this clarification traces back to last month's dual launches, the memoir The Book of Sheen, and the Netflix docuseries A.K. Charlie Sheen, both of which thrust his same-sex experiences into the spotlight. Viewers and readers, gripped by the tell-all fervor, often leaped to graphic assumptions, envisioning full-on encounters that aligned with tabloid tropes. Sheen addressed this head-on, chuckling at the mental shortcuts. When people say, sex with men, you immediately think of but sex. Sorry to be graphic, but that's kind of where the mind goes, right? He quipped to Bensinger. It wasn't that. This isn't denial, it's precision, a refusal to let sensationalism eclipse authenticity. Sheen elaborated without shame, framing the moments as exploratory rather than definitive. I don't want to be like, okay, I did this thing but this and that part of it didn't happen. But it didn't, he insisted. I don't know that matters. He likened it to the rite of passage experiments many attribute to college years, adding with a wry smile, they say you experiment in college, you know? I never went to college, so maybe that explains it. This self-deprecating humor disarms, turning potential vulnerability into a badge of lived experience. The encounters, he stressed, weren't full-fledged, born not from innate orientation but from the fog of his crack addiction, a period where boundaries blurred and curiosities ignited. Tracing the origins, Sheen pinpointed the drug haze as the catalyst. That's where it was born or sparked, he recalled in a September People interview, his tone reflective rather than regretful. Amid chunks of time off the pipe, he grappled with questions. Where did that come from? Why did that happen? Before landing on a liberating so what mentality. Some of it was weird. A lot of it was King fun, he admitted bluntly, embracing the messiness without judgment. This philosophy, life goes on, has been Sheen's North Star through HIV diagnosis, substance battles and career comebacks from 2.5 Men glory to platoon intensity. The podcast dive added layers, revealing the extortion that shadowed these secrets. It did come with a tremendous amount of extortion, Sheen confessed, detailing how knowledge holders leveraged his vulnerability for payouts. At the time I was just like, alright, let's just pay to keep it quiet. Make it go away. This admission paints a poignant picture, the tiger blood-fueled bravado masking a man desperate for peace. Releasing the truth now feels like shedding chains. I just need to be free of that, and then see how the world feels if people know that stuff, he said. His scripted fears, of rejection, ridicule, dissolved upon disclosure. A train didn't come through the side of the restaurant. King piano didn't fall out of the sky. No one ran into the room and shot me. He marveled to Good Morning America, capturing the anticlimactic relief. Sheen's transparency is King liberating, a phrase he repeats like a mantra. In the documentary, when pressed on airing such intimacies, he beamed, it's like just talk about stuff. Liberating. This echoes his memoir's ethos, where pages brim with unfiltered anecdotes, from wild nights to paternal reflections on daughters Sami and Lola with ex-Denise Richards. The son of Martin Sheen, whose own activism shaped family lore, has carved a parallel path of unapologetic truth-telling, albeit through a rockier terrain. Culturally, Sheen's story disrupts binaries, challenging Hollywood's rigid masculinity molds. His Golden Globe-winning charisma once masked inner turmoil. Now it illuminates fluidity. Fans and critics alike praise the destigmatization, with social media buzzing about normalized bisexuality and straight-passing icons. Yet, Sheen waves off profundity, insisting it's personal, not prescriptive. It's not a shame thing. It's just kind of like sex with men is a bit of a broad category, he told Bensinger, keeping it light. As he eyes future projects, rumors swirl of a Wall Street sequel or comedy revival. Sheen's revelations fortify his resilience narrative. From near-fatal binges to sobriety's steady ground, he's authored a life of reinvention. These clarifications aren't corrections, they're completions inviting empathy over exploitation. In owning his spectrum, Sheen doesn't just set records straight. He bends the arc toward acceptance, proving that even in the echo chamber of fame, one voice can harmonize the chaos.